Do you remember the first time you tried to ride a bicycle? Your legs were shaking, your hands held the handlebars tight, and after a few seconds, you lost balance and fell down. But then you stood up, tried again, and fell a few more times. Until one day, the bicycle suddenly moved smoothly under your feet, and you smiled because you did it. Learning English is the same. At the beginning, you may feel afraid to make mistakes, afraid that people will laugh, afraid that you don't understand. But in fact, those feelings are very normal. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. Every mistake is a small step that helps you go further. In this journey, you don't need to go fast. Learning a new language is not a race. It is a long journey, where each day you move a little bit forward, and every try is a new chance. I am Larry, Master Coach and NLP Trainer, founder of 3D English. Today, I want to share with you some easy and simple ways to learn, so you can see that English is not as difficult as you think. We will learn with stories, with real-life examples, and with the belief that you can improve step by step every day. Part 1. Mistakes are steps forward. Imagine an early morning. Outside the window, soft golden sunlight comes into the room. Birds are singing, making the space feel more alive. In your hand is a cup of hot tea, with gentle steam rising. You take a small sip, warm taste spreads on your tongue, and you remember the first time you tried to speak English in front of others. You felt nervous, your voice became small, and then suddenly you made a mistake in pronunciation. The listener smiled a little. At that moment, your face turned red, your heart beat fast. But do you realize? That was the sign you were really learning. Mistakes are not enemies. Mistakes are steps forward. Like when you learned to ride a bicycle, you had to fall a few times before you could balance. In English learning, pronouncing wrong, using the wrong tense, or forgetting words, all are normal. Even Americans, native speakers, also make mistakes many times. One of my students, the first time he wanted to say, he went to school yesterday. But he said, he go to school yesterday. He felt very shy, but I told him, that is a good sign. Because you tried. One mistake, one correction, one step forward. From then, he was not afraid to speak anymore. He saw mistakes as friends on his journey. A common mistake for beginners is trying to speak perfectly, and then feeling sad when they are wrong. But the truth is, the more mistakes you make, the faster you learn. The important thing is to stop for a moment, remember, and try again. Each mistake is a brick on the road to confidence. So what do you learn here? Welcome mistakes as a natural part. Don't feel ashamed. Each mistake is a chance to practice. And when you understand this, you will feel lighter, more comfortable, and ready to continue. Now that you know mistakes don't stop you but help you go faster, let's learn how to practice every day to improve step by step. Part 2. Practice regularly and in many ways. Imagine a late afternoon. The sun is going down, soft orange light covers the small street. You hear the sound of dry leaves under people's feet, and from far away, the smell of fresh bread comes from a small bakery. Your stomach feels hungry, and you want to buy one piece of bread. You think, how can I say this in English? If you already practice every day, it will feel easy. You can smile and say, can I have one bread, please? Very simple, but full of confidence. Practicing English does not need many hours. Only 10 to 20 minutes each day, regularly, is much better than studying hard one day and forgetting for a whole week. Many beginners make this mistake. They try to swallow many lessons in one day, but then they feel tired and stop quickly. Instead, you can make learning a natural part of your life. For example, when you drink coffee in the morning, listen to a short English podcast. When you walk in the park, repeat one sentence you learned. This is called habit stacking, adding learning to a habit you already have. It is like putting 1 spoon of sugar into your usual coffee. Very easy, but it makes the taste special. And when you practice in many situations, your brain learns faster. One time you practice when shopping, another time when asking for directions, or simply when standing in front of the mirror to introduce yourself in English. Each situation is a new color, helping you feel interested, not bored. So what is the small lesson here? Practice regularly, even a little, and you will go much further. Make English a natural part of your day, so you can improve gently, without pressure. When you get used to practicing like this, the next step is learning how to say simple English sentences with confidence, and that is what we will discover in the next part. Part 3. Speak English with confidence. Imagine a morning in a small coffee shop on the corner. Soft yellow light comes through the window, shining on a wooden table. You hear the sound of a spoon touching a cup, and the smell of roasted coffee fills the air, making you feel warm and relaxed. You walk to the counter. Your heart beats a little faster. Your hand shakes a little, and you know it is time to speak English. At that moment, you can choose a long, difficult sentence, but it is easy to make mistakes. Or you can choose a short, clear, easy sentence. I would like a coffee, please. When you say it politely, the waiter smiles and nods. You feel fresh air inside your chest. Your worry goes away, and when you drink your coffee, it even tastes sweeter. A common mistake for many beginners is trying to speak fast and long to show they are good. But usually, the result is confusion, stopping, and losing confidence. The small lesson here is, don't hurry. English does not ask you to speak like a native at the beginning. The most important thing is that the other person understands you. One short sentence, spoken slowly and clearly with a smile, is already success. If you forget a word, don't worry. Use the paraphrase technique. Explain in another way. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say a thing for the rain. The listener will understand, and sometimes they will even give you the correct word. So what do you learn here? Confidence does not come from speaking perfectly. It comes from being brave to speak. Start with short, polite, clear sentences. When you say them many times, confidence will grow naturally, like the smile you give when you hold a hot coffee in your hand. And when you have confidence to speak, the next step is learning how to listen well, so you can not only speak, but also understand others. That is what we will discover in the next part. Part 4. Listening to English, 5 minutes. Imagine a quiet evening. You sit in a small room, warm yellow light shines on the notebook in front of you. Outside, the sound of rain falls softly on the roof, regular and calm, like background music. You take your phone, play a short English dialogue. A clear, steady voice begins. You close your eyes, take a deep breath, feel the smell of mint tea in the air, and the sweet taste still on your tongue. And you start to really listen. Listening to English is not only for your ears to catch sounds. It is to feel the rhythm, the stress, the pauses. Many beginners make the mistake of listening only once and then stopping, or trying to translate every word in their head, which makes the brain tired. Instead, focus on the main idea. You don't need to understand 100% to know what the speaker means. There is a very good method called shadowing. It means you listen to a sentence and then repeat it right away, like a shadow following the body. For example, if you hear in the dialogue, "How are you today?" you repeat immediately, "How are you today?" Your voice will slowly follow the rhythm, like music mixing with the rain outside into a pleasant harmony. You can also record your own voice and compare it with the original. At first it may sound strange, maybe a little embarrassing, but over time you will notice your voice becoming clearer, your rhythm more natural. This is how listening can become a fun habit, without pressure. So what is the small lesson here? Listening is not to find mistakes in yourself, but to let the melody of the language enter you. Think of each listening time as enjoying music. Let your ears, eyes, and mind feel together. And when you can listen and understand, the next step is to grow your vocabulary and grammar, so you can not only listen and speak, but also express more ideas. That is what we will explore in the next part. Part 5. Vocabulary and Grammar. 4 minutes. Imagine you are sitting in a small library. Soft white light from a desk lamp shines on the pages, making the words clear and sharp. Outside the window, the leaves move gently in the wind, making a soft sound. The air smells of old wood and new paper, familiar and pleasant. You drink a sip of lemon water. The sour taste makes your tongue fresh and awake, and you open your notebook of English words. Many people, when learning words, only write a long list. Apple, table, run, big. Then they try to remember each word, but after a few days, they forget most of them. That is a common mistake. Vocabulary is like seeds. If you only put them on the table, they will dry and disappear. But if you plant them in stories, in real situations, they will grow. For example, instead of only learning the word shopping, learn the phrase, "Go shopping at the supermarket." Then make a sentence, "I go shopping every Sunday." This way, you don't just remember the word, but you also know how to use it in life. Grammar is the same. You don't need to start with long, difficult rules. Use short and real sentences. For example, "I eat rice." "She likes coffee." When you feel comfortable, add more details. "I eat rice in the morning." "She likes hot coffee." Step by step, your sentences will grow naturally. The small lesson here is, learn words and phrases, use words and sentences. Like when you smell the new paper in the library, you remember you are learning something alive. When you hear the sound of the leaves outside, you can make a sentence. "I hear the leaves." Grammar and vocabulary, if connected with experience, will stay in your memory. And when you already have basic words and grammar, the next thing you need is correct pronunciation, so people can understand you right away. That is what we will learn in the next part. Part 6. Basic Pronunciation. 3 minutes. Imagine you are sitting in a small, quiet room. Morning light comes through the window, making the dust shine like golden dots. On the table, a hot cup of coffee is steaming. The warm smell fills the air. You take a small sip. The bitter taste mixes with a little sweetness on your tongue. In this moment, you play a short English word. Ship. You close your eyes and repeat, sheep. Then you notice. These two words are different. One has a short sound, one has a long sound. If you pronounce them wrong, the meaning will change completely. Pronunciation is the key. You may know many words and much grammar, but if your pronunciation is wrong, people will be confused. A common mistake for beginners is not paying attention to stress and sound length. For example, record with stress on the first part is a noun, but with stress on the second part, it becomes a verb. Just one small change, and the meaning is different. The small lesson here is, listen carefully and copy the native speaker's voice. Don't be shy about pronouncing. You can use a mirror to check your mouth or record your voice and compare. Each practice is like tuning a musical instrument. At first, the sound is not perfect, but step by step, it becomes clear and correct. And when you know the basics of pronunciation, the next important thing is to keep a positive spirit, to stay motivated so you don't stop after only a few days. That is what we will discover in the next part. Part 7. Motivation and Positive Mindset. Imagine an early morning. The sky is clear and blue. Soft sunlight comes through the window, making the room warm and bright. You hear birds singing in the garden and the wind moving gently through the leaves. On the table is a hot cup of tea, with soft steam rising. You take a sip. The sweet, fresh taste touches your tongue, and you feel ready to start the new day with positive energy. Learning English is the same. Some days you feel excited, but some days you feel tired and want to stop. A common mistake is starting very strong for 1 to 2 weeks, and then stopping because of lost motivation. But the truth is, to improve, what you need most is persistence, not perfection. One simple method is the 21-day challenge. Every day, study just a little. Maybe 10 minutes of listening to a podcast, or writing one English sentence in your notebook. After 21 days, you will see that learning has become a habit, like drinking tea in the morning. Easy, natural, and full of energy. The small lesson here is, believe that you can. Each day, one small step is still progress. When you keep a positive mindset, every mistake is not a problem, but an opportunity. And each time you continue after falling, you become stronger. And when you have this spirit, we can explore how technology and culture can support your learning journey. So English is not only in books, but also in your daily life. Part 8. Technology and Culture. Imagine a quiet evening in your living room. Soft yellow light from a desk lamp makes the space warm. You hear a small ting sound when you open an English learning app on your phone. The screen lights up with a short exercise. You smile because in just a few minutes, you can practice right on the sofa, while the smell of chicken soup comes from the kitchen, making your stomach feel warm and happy. Technology makes learning easier. You can use apps like Duolingo or HelloTalk to practice new words, or use a voice assistant to try a simple English sentence. For example, you say, quote, dot, "What's the weather today?" and hear the answer right away. This is not only speaking practice, but also helps you listen and respond faster. But there is one common mistake. Many people only depend on apps and forget to use English in real life. Language learning is not only on the screen, but also alive outside, in conversations and real situations. And to be truly confident, you need to understand the culture with the language. For example, in the US, when meeting someone new, people usually shake hands firmly, look into the eyes, and smile. In other places, sometimes just a small nod or a light greeting is enough. These small cultural differences, if you know them, make communication more natural and easier. The small lesson here is, combine technology with real life and learn culture too, so your English is not only correct, but also alive and truly connected. And when you already have tools and cultural understanding, the next step will be writing and survival skills in communication. So even if you forget a word, you can still express yourself with confidence. That is what we will learn in the next part. Part 9. Writing and quick fixes in communication. Imagine a late afternoon in a coffee shop. The last sunlight comes through the window, making soft golden lines on the table. Light jazz music plays, mixing with the sound of a spoon touching a cup. You smell fresh baked cake, and when you take a bite, the sweet taste spreads on your tongue. At that moment, your phone vibrates with a message. You need to write a short email in English. Many beginners feel worried, afraid of grammar mistakes, afraid their writing is not good. But really, one simple and polite sentence is enough. For example, "Hello, I cannot come today." Thank you, simple, clear, and the reader still understands. Short and correct meaning is enough. It is the same in conversation. Sometimes you forget a word, and your heart beats fast because you are nervous. Don't worry. You can make a quick fix by describing. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say "a thing for the rain," or use your hands to show covering your head. The other person will understand. You still communicate, and sometimes it feels even more friendly. A common mistake is staying completely silent when you forget a word and losing the chance to speak. The small lesson here is, say something, even if it is simple or roundabout. The listener will help you, not laugh at you. And in these quick fix moments, you will remember the new word much longer. Now, when you know how to write simply and speak flexibly when forgetting words, we arrive at the final step of today's journey. Let's go to the conclusion, where we will wrap up all the lessons with a warm and inspiring message. Part 10. Conclusion and Inspiration. Imagine a quiet afternoon. The last sunlight comes through the trees, making golden dots shine on the small road. The wind moves the leaves softly, mixing with the sound of footsteps, creating a calm rhythm. In your hand is a cup of chamomile tea. The gentle smell fills the air. The sweet taste spreads on your tongue, bringing you peace and warmth. The journey of learning English is just like this scene. Gentle, step by step, and full of life. You have seen that mistakes are not failures, but steps forward. You know the power of practicing every day, even for just a few minutes. You learned to speak short, clear, and confident sentences. You listened, repeated, and let the rhythm of English enter you like music. You grew your vocabulary, learned grammar in real sentences, not only from dry rules. You practiced pronunciation, made mistakes and corrected them, like tuning a guitar to the right sound. You kept your mind positive, with the belief that you can do it. Technology became your tool, culture became your bridge, and even when you forgot a word, you found a way to keep speaking. The small lesson here is simple. Learning English is not about running fast to the finish line, but about walking step by step, feeling each moment, and keeping your heart patient and calm. Just like riding a bicycle, you fall many times before you can ride smoothly, and one day you realize you can go much farther than you thought. And now, I want to leave you with this message. Continue this journey with a smile, with belief, and with warmth in your heart. If you learn only one thing today, remember that you are able to improve every day, every hour. Thank you for listening and walking this journey with me. If these lessons gave you motivation, please subscribe and join me in the next videos. We will have many more stories to explore together. See you on the next step of the journey.